I've edited over 300 videos from finance channels with a million plus subscribers to company ads and personal vlogs. For years, I was the guy behind the scenes, just obsessed creating the best content out there. And today, I'll exactly break down how to edit educational videos on YouTube. So before we start, if you haven't watched my previous videos on what content to make and how to script them, make sure you check that first before watching this video. Because even though if you have the best editing in the world, if you don't have a good story to tell, you're not gonna convert. Now there are two types of editing. One is the complex motion graphics, kind of like the Iman Gadzi videos. And the second one is minimalistic editing, which is kind of like this video. Now there has been a massive shift in the content space where for educational videos like this one you're watching right now, you don't need complex motion graphics. You could go with minimalistic approach. Now what do I mean by minimalistic editing? It is simply mixture of you speaking to the camera with a roll combined with some text on screen at the right time. That's it. No, it is not so simple as said. You have to maintain the premiumness while still being minimalistic. Now, how do you do that? I'm going to give you a simple 5-step framework that you can use to edit your videos. Now, before jumping into the steps, I want to make this very clear. By this style of editing, if you are expecting retention, it's not going to happen. You're going to have very less retention from these videos. But it's a good thing because you can filter out bad students and you can sell to your loyal and good students. Now let's jump into the framework. Step 0 is that to record the video uncut, even though you stutter, make a mistake or anything. Don't hit stop and then start recording from the start. It will be easier in the post to edit. Now, step 1 is that drop your video to your timeline and cut all those mistakes you have gone through while recording the video. Now, hey, this is so obvious. Why are you telling this? Just stick with me till the end. I'll also touch on the technical parts too. Now, this part could become a nightmare for you if you have made too many mistakes. Now, step 2. Watch the video now and just ruthlessly cut the fluff. Any part that makes you feel like this is not adding to the story, not adding to the message you're trying to convey, just remove it. Sometimes you get in the flow state and start speaking whatever you want, but you can just cut those parts in the edit. Step 3. Once you've done this, you can start adding text wherever necessary. Now, how do you add it strategically? Now, since it is an educational video, I presume you're giving some kind of like 5-step process or something like that. So have like a roadmap like this. Showcase how many steps are there, but don't reveal the names of the steps until you start explaining about that part. Now, this keeps the viewers hooked to the end and they go, okay, 4 steps left, 3 steps left. There is a mental trigger in their brain that they are progressing in the video. Or if you just go on saying, they don't catch what you're really saying, or maybe just zone out from the video. The second way to use text is, let's say you have some short definition of a word, you can put that in the lower third of your screen, just like this one for example. If it is a little bit long or something like a checklist, you can do a 50-50 split and mention the subpoints. If it is even longer than that, or you are showing some screenshots or you are presenting something, you need more real estate, just switch to full screen, and if the context of your video allows, show your beautiful face down there in small circle or a rectangle cutout. Something like this. So these were some few ideas on how to use text properly. Step 4. Sometimes you need more than text to explain a concept. Now that's where diagrams or illustrations come in. Show simple Venn diagrams or simple graphics on the screen to visually show the solution. It could be simple pie charts, bar graphs, or simple animations. Because people will forget what you say, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And this is not my quote, by the way, I read it somewhere. Now, step 5 is that you be very careful with background music. For educational videos, there should be little to no BGM, and by very little, I mean whenever you are transitioning from one section to the other section of the video. BGM can kill the vibe of your video if you are not careful with the choice. So ideally no BGM. If you still want to use, keep it minimal. Now that completes our 5-step process. Cut the mistakes, cut the fluff, use text wherever necessary, roadmap, lower thirds, 50-50 split and full screen, visually show the solution with simple graphics, and lastly, no BGM. Now this is the core part of the editing. And if you're enjoying this video, consider subscribing to my newsletter where I share more such insights like this. Now, let me give some bonus and technical tips while creating a brand around yourself. Number 1 is colors. Have a consistent color scheme across all your videos. Now suppose if I blur this person here and you have to tell me who is this, it's Alex or Musim. And that purple color is Alex style. And when you're putting your text on top of the background, make sure it is contrasting. If you use a purple background and add a blue color text to it, it becomes not readable. A quick tip though, you can almost use any background color and have a white or black text on top of that. It instantly becomes readable because white and black are the most contrasting colors in the world. And please use premium colors. There's a website called Color Hunt. You can browse through different combination of colors along with their hex code. And another quick tip though, the fastest way to look for a complementing color in a color wheel is usually the opposite part of the circle. So if I'm choosing red here as my primary color, green will be complementing to that. Number two is that complementing to colors is the text font. Surf through some of the fonts out there and come up with what font best suits for your style. And use the same font across all your videos. You need to choose two fonts, one for the heading and one for the subtext. Now you can't just use any fonts because they have to complement to each other. If I use Old English for the heading and Comic Sans as the subtext, looks odd, right? So there's a website called monotype.com which helps you find the complementing fonts for it. And these are my font combinations. Number 3, jump cuts, which looks something like this to emphasize a point you're saying. Now don't overuse this. Just use it at the end of a sentence when you're making an important point. If you try to overdo this at every sentence, your viewers will have motion sickness. Just use it at the end of a sentence. You see that? Number 4, add subtle pattern animations. As you can see here, there is some pattern like this. I'll drag this above my color layer and change the blend mode to whatever fits perfectly and reduce the opacity. Now suddenly you get a much beautiful looking video. This way you are maintaining premiumness along with being minimalistic. Now you know the complete process of planning, scripting and editing. But how do I repurpose this to Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter, Shorts? Don't worry. In my next video here, I'll share the exact process to convert one piece of content to 28 posts. Subscribe to my newsletter if you found this useful and I'll see you here.